My 28F boyfriend 31M called me hideous. I have gotten so used to his insults that I could not even react. Me and my so have dated for over 4 years. This coming September, it will be our 5th year. We currently cohabit, and he gives me some money, but the flat is on my name. I pay rent from my account and the bills. In that time, I have also lost both of my parents and some friends. My grandmother moved back to Spain and I had a bad mental breakdown in September of last year, to the point where I was put on antidepressants, anxiety meds and a sleeping tablet. I also am waiting for treatments for medical conditions I've carried for a bit. I also do all the work in the house. I clean, I cook, I liaise with the landlord whenever something goes wrong, I take care of our cats. When I ask my partner to do chores, his response is that I was the one who got the flat, I was the one who chose to own cats. My partner also has struggled with bipolar disorder, he has manic and depressive cycles, and I was diagnosed with Cushing's. Cushing's is probably one of the worst things for anyone's sexual life, as my weight ballooned to over 300 pounds. So I became undesirable to his eyes and my own eyes. I have now started treatment for the Cushing's with medication, and if it doesn't work, I will need surgery, and have already lost 10 pounds, but I want to get back to how it was. I still haven't had sex in 3 years and I am only 28. I adore my partner and don't resent him, as my weight is largely the reason. But it is destroying me psychologically. Our intimacy has fallen so much that right now we only cuddle. We have stopped kissing and making out altogether. I try to initiate, but he never gets hard and of course, he doesn't come. He masturbates and watches porn, and we had to open our relationship because he wasn't getting sexual fulfillment. We don't even sleep in the same bedroom anymore. I sleep in the sofa in the living room, and he gets the bedroom. It's a 1-bedroom flat. Today, I asked him if he wanted anything for lunch. He took one look at me and said, "You look hideous." He then said that he wanted to help me lose weight and that he would help me. But he's only working odd jobs here and there and I am the one putting the money and taking care of the house. Everything has gone up with inflation. I was so shocked when I heard him that I didn't even know how to react. I know I don't look great because of the weight, but even before I put on weight he would bring me down by saying I was overweight or my looks were average and a 5'10". I have always had great insecurity on how I look, as I've always been a chubby kid plus socially awkward and not interested in most conversation due to my ADHD. I know our relationship is shit and I should kick him out. I am painfully aware of that. But I've recently lost my secondment and my salary has fallen to the point where I need the financial help he provides, no matter how insignificant it might be. I could afford my flat before, but the loss of salary plus rising inflation in the UK has meant that I am already paying lower rent than average for my city London, and that if I was to move, I wouldn't even find anything that much cheaper. I 45F cheated on my ex-husband 45F and ruined his relationship with our daughter 24F. Me and my ex met in high school, had our one and only daughter after college, and got married a year later. Things were going great for years. As time went on, it got stale. Dead bedroom situation. Daughter away to college. A bunch of normal marriage stuff that I decided to burn with my selfishness. I started an affair with a man that went to my gym. It started as flirting, then he gave me his number, which turned to sexting, then meeting up and turning it physical. It got bad. I'd have him over if my husband was working late or go to his place and tell my husband I was at work. A year into it, my daughter graduated from college and moved back home. I forgot exactly how she found out, but she confronted me about possibly cheating on her dad. I tried to lie, but it wasn't working, and I told her a sob story about how I was unhappy, which wasn't even true, and that I loved her father but I also loved my AP and this way I can be happy and her father can be happy. The sob story worked and she agreed to keep it secret. Her only condition was that I couldn't bring him to the house. So I would always go with him to his place. Well, one day my ex went through my phone while I was asleep and saw everything. all of my conversations and pictures with ex-AP. He saw when I told AP that my daughter was keeping the secret, which led him to read the texts with my daughter and saw a conversation when she said, "I just want you to be happy." I noticed something was up for the next week or so because he didn't really talk to my daughter and I besides monotone yeses, nos, or I don't cares. This really affected my daughter because they were always close, and she started panicking that he knew. Well, one day me and my daughter were watching TV and he came home and slapped papers in front of me and said he wanted a divorce. He said he knew about my affair and told me the name of AP. I asked our daughter to leave the room and he said no, she can hear this too. After all, she wants you to be happy, right? My daughter and I started having a breakdown and begging him to forgive us. He yelled that he wanted to divorce and that the quicker I signed, he can get out of our lives, since I obviously didn't love him and that he obviously wasn't a good enough father to our daughter for her to do this. Then he left. It took about 9 months for the divorce to go through. I begged and begged him to reconcile, or at least forgive our daughter. But he was adamant that he wanted nothing to do with us. Since then, neither me nor my daughter have heard from or seen him. She's tried to text and call him, but he ignores her. Our relationship has also deteriorated. She went through a deep depression and we've had some explosive arguments. She's told me that she regrets ever covering for me, that she should have told her dad as soon as she found out. She's called me every name in the book, said I was the worst mother ever and that I ruined her life. I got the house, as it was my parents' house previously. She moved out with her friends and only contacts me if she needs something and only comes over if she needs to get something, then immediately leaves. I've ruined everything. I have no one. It's been 3 years. I miss my ex so much, but 1. He hates me and 2. He's remarried and they adopted a baby, so that'll never happen. From what I know, he still doesn't talk to our daughter. Is there anything I can say to him to get him to speak to her? Is there anything I can do to repair my relationship with my daughter? Is everything totally destroyed? I'm lost. NSFW, my husband 27 meters, would rather pleasure himself than have to do it with me 25F. I didn't find him watching porn a big deal then, but now it just hurts. I've never felt so ugly and disgusting. Our sex life hasn't always been like this. Our first year was okay, but now it's like I have to beg for it or it only happens when he wants to. When it does happen it's so unsatisfying. He has never made sure I was done. Only him. We do have 1 kid together and another on the way. I'm only 20 weeks right now. But even before I got preggo with my second, our sex life was already this bad. We would only have sex once a month on average. We've gotten in so many fights about this as well. He always turns it around saying that it's my fault for making everything a problem. I just don't understand anymore. Every time I bring it up, it always ends in an argument. I feel like I have done and tried everything. I've bought lingerie, dressed differently, wear makeup, make him feel more important in bed. But yet I am left out. He doesn't even cuddle afterwards. He gets up and does something else. He will say he loves me and likes me. But he won't show it. One time I asked him to put his hands between my breast and he didn't like it and didn't want to. I asked because it's more comfy for me during pregnancy, cause my boobs are bigger. I hope to initiate something but yet nothing. All it did was make me feel bad about my body. Feeling unwanted and ugly. I've never cried so much looking at myself in the mirror. I don't know how much longer I can keep up with this. I don't know what to do anymore. Intimacy is something important to me in the relationship I'm in. I have mentioned that to him. Is it time to move on?